Every year, we get hit with a new crop of breakouts and a new crop of busts. And as fans, we can only ever hope that we get the breakout and not the bust, because a big bust, that could sink your entire season. And today, we're gonna talk about the biggest ones in 2021. Before we get into it though, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe if you are new to this channel and you enjoy baseball content. First things first, let's define how I'm using the word bust. Webster's defines it as a worthless thing. Now, I think that is rather rude, and no player is worthless, so that's not what we're going with. We're going with a significant underperformance from what was expected. Mike Zunino is hitting 192, but that's not a bust because he's got a career average of 200. If Mike Trout started hitting 192, that would be considered a bust for me. So with all that being said, let's kick off this list. Number 5, Kenta Maeda. Coming into this year, the 33-year-old Twins pitcher was considered to be one of the best in the game. In 2020, he put up a stellar year, finishing with a 2.7 ERA, a 6-1 record, and 80 strikeouts over 66.2 innings. That was good enough to put him second in Cy Young voting. So needless to say, the Twins were expecting something pretty elite coming out of the stud pitcher. This year has been a very different story. Maeda's whip has practically doubled from a league-leading 750 last year to an abysmal 1.479 in 2021. That's inflated his ERA to 5.01, certainly not what the Twins expected from their ace. Number 4, George Springer. One of the most coveted names this offseason, Springer signed a lucrative $150 million deal for 6 years with the Blue Jays. And I think it's fair to say that we expected a lot.
We got the guy. The fact that we just nailed the biggest free agent so far this offseason is huge. He's gonna help out the young batters immensely.
We're up huge.
We're
right
on
now.
top. Everyone's looking at us right now.
Now, at $25 million per year, Springer was expected to step in and turn this Jays offense into a juggernaut. Problem is, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Injuries have piled up, and Springer has spent almost the entire year on the bench. Now, granted, that's not really his fault, but with the amount of excitement surrounding him this offseason and the fact that we've seen almost no production up until this point, the signing feels like a bit of a bust.
But please come back soon because the Jays really need you. Thank you.
Number 3, Luis Castillo. Castillo was in for a breakout year. We all thought it. We even put him on our must-draft fantasy players.
Luis Castillo, pay up, get him where he's being drafted. Super happy to take him as my ace, as my first pitcher off the board.
After 2 consecutive years of dominance, it felt like a shoe-in. But wow, did we whiff. The 28-year-old Cincinnati Red is struggling badly right now, currently hitting the deepest dungeon of his floor with a 5.83 ERA, a 2-9 win-loss record, and a 1.507 whip. This is certainly not the dominance that we had expected and hoped for from the apparent ace. Number 2. And yes, guys, I know, number 2 is not the cool gold like all the other numbers. Trust me, I went on Google, I was looking for number 2s that are gold with transparent backgrounds. They don't even have them. It was super annoying. I spent like way too much time doing this. I don't even know why I'm including this in this video. I guess I'm just frustrated at this point. But anyways, this is the number 2. We're going with it. And number 2, Blake Snell. The 28-year-old former Cy Young winner made headlines this offseason when he was part of a monster trade to the Padres. Shipping off 5 guys in return for Snell, I think it's fair to say the Padres expected a dominant ace in return. That's what makes what he's currently doing sting even more. Carrying an ERA of 5.72 with a horrible whip of 1.565, the supposed star looks like a shell of his former Cy Young self, not even coming close to the career numbers that he's put up in the past. Certainly not what the Padres hoped for when they made that big move. And finally, number 1, Francisco Lindor. Lindor also made waves this offseason by not only being shipped to the New York Mets, but also signing a 10-year deal worth $341 million. Signed for the next decade, the Mets were excited to start the season with their new franchise player. I'm sure they never expected this though. Lindor, a 4-time All-Star, is rocking a slash of 220, 315 on base, 366 slugging, all good for an OPS of 681. That OPS is 142 points lower than his career average, and I can only imagine that the Mets management and fan base are sweating accordingly. So, there you have it, guys. The 5 biggest busts so far in 2021. Frankly, I really hope that a lot of these guys turn it around. They are big names in baseball, and I want the best for them, especially Lindor. That would really ruin a franchise if he just continued like this. But guys, let me know in the comments who I missed, and thank you so much for watching.
High drive, right field, it is